Welcome to the Dark Files. This is our countdown of the top 10 gruesome real-life crimes. Today we're diving into Story 2. In the spring of 1974, a small storefront in Ogden, Utah, a place that sold speakers and radios, a shop that sounded like any ordinary evening, became the stage for a cruelty the city would never forget. What began as a simple robbery turned into a nightmare that would leave families shattered and a town searching for answers. Stay with me. Ogden sits beneath the Wasatch Range. Quiet streets, family businesses, a pace of life that felt safe. On April the 22nd, 1974, the hi-fi shop on Washington Boulevard was closing for the night. Two young employees were finishing their shift. In the space of a few hours, strangers would upend everything. A group of men walked in. Not customers, but armed intruders. They forced the workers into the basement. Then, as the evening wore on, the number of hostages grew. A teenager who came by to visit, a worried father who went to check on his son, a mother who arrived searching for her child. The plan, at first glance, looked like a robbery. But inside that basement, something darker unfolded. The captors used a chemical, a household drain cleaner, and told the hostages it was harmless. They insisted it would only make them sleep. The victims were ordered to drink. The result was catastrophic, intense burning, irreversible injury, and ultimately, loss. One woman, still a teenager, didn't survive. By morning, the town would learn that what they had thought was a theft had been a carefully planned, brutal crime. Against grim odds, some survived. An injured father managed to describe the attackers and the getaway vehicles. That testimony proved crucial. Small clues, discarded items in a dumpster, receipts, and even the odd detail of a film poster spotted at a nearby barracks, began to point investigators toward men stationed at an Air Force base. Detectives used those fragments, and a tip that followed, to close in. The evidence pieced together a chilling picture. The violence had not been random. Lists of targets and stolen goods found in a storage unit suggested planning beyond a single job. And the physical evidence, the bottle, the victim's injuries, the items traced back to the suspects, tied names to the basement. When the case reached trial, surviving witnesses gave testimony that was difficult to hear. Medical experts explained how corrosive substances destroy tissue, and how some injuries left permanent, life-altering damage. Jurors weighed testimony, forensic findings, and the deliberate nature of the acts. 3 men were convicted. 2 received the harshest penalty the state could impose. Another, convicted as the driver, served time and later moved away. For the survivors who returned to life after the basement, the path forward was long and painful. Lifelong disabilities, memories that never faded, families forever altered. What makes this case so haunting is not just the violence itself. It's the ordinary setting, the deliberate choices, the lack of remorse reported by the perpetrators. For a community that had known quiet evenings and simple storefronts, the hi-fi crime was a rupture, a reminder that evil can arrive in a plain van on an ordinary night. That was Story 2 of our countdown on the Dark Files. If you want more deep dives into real cases, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Don't miss Story 1, coming next week, the one that changed everything.